to our shade sale. We'll get started. Great. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Terrific. My name is Claudine Loffman. I'm the park superintendent, and I would like to welcome everyone today to a very special dedication. Today is the day we're going to dedicate the Kiwanis EdZooCation Station, which is our new presentation area, which is a wonderful addition to the zoo. So I would like to recognize any park board members that we have. I know Vic is in the back, Clinker, and Lori Denny, and I think that may be our only two park board representatives that could sneak away today. But what we're going to do is just have a little formal presentation, and you can see we'll have refreshments later, and we'll even have a short presentation utilizing the new area. So what I'd like to do right now is go ahead and introduce Mayor Rezworski. If you would come on up, Mayor. I think the Mayor has a few words to say.
Well, thank you, everybody. This is really one of those fun things that I get to do on a special day like today to recognize the Kiwanis and to help celebrate the opening of this EdZooCation. I think Claudine, make sure I get it right. It really is a really special addition to the Columbia Park Zoo. I do want to recognize Cindy Murray, who's here, our city clerk. Also, most of you have been around the zoo, you've been around the park, and you realize what a special place Columbian Park is in Columbian Park Zoo. There are wonderful activities for kids and adults of all ages and opportunities to make memories and spend family time together, and also to learn. And also, that's a big part of what we do here is that education component. And having a facility like this to be able to continue that education format is really important, and besides, it looks really neat. It fits well with the zoo. We know the Kiwanis donated $37,000 to make this possible, and that's a significant amount of money to make a project like that possible here in the zoo. Your work throughout the community has not gone unnoticed. We know what the Kiwanis do, helping sponsor programs in the community, working with youth, and over 100 years have made a huge difference through your outreach and your willingness to give back, to volunteer, and to really be a part of the community that builds that strong foundation. And so we can't thank you enough for choosing the Columbian Park Zoo as a place to make another donation and to help make this project possible. So with that, it's my distinct pleasure to introduce Jim Hope. Jim, if you'd like to come up and say a word on behalf of the Kiwanis, we'd appreciate it. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, it's great to see a nice turnout like this today. I'm absolutely, totally overwhelmed by the turnout. I would just like to make a couple comments. This project started with a committee meeting with Claudine way back on August 29th, 2014. So over 14 months ago, we started this, and it's really great to see it finally come together. The Kiwanis Education Station is a gift from the 109 members of the Lafayette Kiwanis Club, and a lot of them are here today to celebrate our 100th anniversary of Kiwanis International. The motto of Kiwanis, serving the children of the world, also applies right here in Tippecanoe County. Like the mayor said, the total cost of this project was $37,600. And I want to give special thanks today to some people that actually funded this thing. Our club members donated $26,600. So all of you who are club members, would you wave your hands, please? We've got a lot of you today. Special thanks to the McAllister Foundation, which contributed $4,000. Do we have anybody here from McAllister?
Bill's there. Bill McCall.
Bill, good to have you here. The Lafayette Kiwanis Foundation contributed $3,000. I know we got a couple members of the board, Jim and Jeff. The Indiana Kiwanis Foundation contributed $2,000, and I I don't know if anybody made it up from Indianapolis, but I don't think so. The Riggs family contributed $1,000. Is Stephen here anywhere?
I didn't see.
Okay. And the Elkhart Community Foundation contributed $1,000. And Elle, would you wave back there?
Yes.
As a new member.
Hey, thank you.
I want to also give special thanks to the Lafayette Parks and Recreation for providing the benches that you all are sitting on, the sign, it's right over here behind Jeff, and the electrical service, which you can't see. This facade, and that's
But we need to have.
Yeah, that's the whole idea of having that electrical service and have it hidden. Claudine, you know how I feel about you. Thank
Feelings
you.
mutual, Jeff.
Thank you for working with us, because way back at that meeting, you went through a few possible projects in the park, and we came up with this one, and you've been a real pleasure to work with.
Thank you.
Ron Brady. Oh, there it is. Sorry. Ron, you're new to the zoo, and thank you for working with us. I know these last couple of weeks have been kind of tense, but you got her done, and thank you very much. Let's all give Ron a hand. Is Alex Gonzalez here from Kettle Hut. Kettle Hut Construction Incorporated is the outfit we work with that put the stage together. This is some special material that will never rot. Isn't that right, Claudine?
That's right.
And this shade sail up here, I think came from California. They put it up. It's going to come down for the winter, so the snow and ice and so forth will tear this thing up. I want to also recognize the members of this Parks Project Committee. So when I call your name, would you stand up, please? Where's Gail Beck? Gail? Gail was on the committee. Lou Graham. Lou's way back there.
Yeah.
Terry Hoff with the movie camera. Camilla Lawson. Where are you, Camilla? There's Camilla. Okay. Taco Gata. There's Taco with the camera. Stephen Riggs, I don't think is here. Gil Simons, unfortunately, became ill during the process, and he's not able to be with us. And Gary Steinhardt, he's a Purdue professor. He's out somewhere in Indiana judging soil, so he's probably down in a pit somewhere over in Indiana. Anyhow, in my final comments, I'd just like to say it's the hope of the Lafayette Kiwanis Club that for many years, the animal ambassadors of Columbia Park Zoo can give educational presentations, animal encounters, and finally provide new and exciting experiences for the 18,000 children who participate in the zoo's education programs every year. So that's all I have to say, and Claudine, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Okay, thank you, Jim. What the mayor and Jim have both touched on is Kiwanis is certainly very, very important to our community and is a wonderful partner for the zoo. And I actually want to introduce Ron Breeding to you, who is our new zoo director, and he wasn't involved at the initial phasing of this project, but he inherited the tail end of it, which is often the most fun. So he's done a fabulous job, so please welcome Ron to our community and to the zoo. I would like to invite each and every one of you to partake in our refreshments, and I know our education staff would like to share their expertise with you as they come up and do a brief presentation on our new Kiwanis Education Station. So please feel free to mingle around, and again, thank you to each and every Kiwanis person that is here. We do value your contribution, and I think that the community is going to be just thrilled with this new area that's been added to the zoo. So thank you very much.
Okay, to encounter you, we have Milo, the Moluccan cockatoo. We have Kenny, the most adorable snake in the entire world. He's real, I promise. And we have our beautiful Savannah monitor lizard, Izzy. And you are all most welcome to come up and meet them. We'll allow you to touch them bring them out to you, whatever you guys prefer. So thank you so much. And Milo here. Milo, would you like to do a little dance for them to show them your appreciation? All right, Milo needs a little applause to get started with his As you can see, we're all very excited. Thank you so much.
Hey, that's better than the mayor.
And he would like to meet you all as well, so feel free to come up and see Kenny. He does not dance, no. That's about it for Mr. Kenny. But he's good looking.
What kind of snake? We just do a very educational one side. Regular lizard? We're going to talk one at a time a little bit more about these animals. If you'd like to begin.
Sure. All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you again so much. We cannot tell you how excited we are to use this presentation area. Beautiful shade. It draws your eyes. We just could not be more excited. So, one of the visions we have is informal encounters, okay? So, we have these beautiful tanks. Usually, they represent where this animal is from. So, Kenny is a Kenyan sand boa constrictor. So, he's a smaller variety of boa constrictor, but he is from northern Africa. And in Africa, this guy is going to live in the very hot, sandy regions, and his head is shaped just like a shovel. And it's hard to understand how effective he is at digging in the sand unless you have some sand. So we can bring this out now. Take the lid off. Allow children or participants to come up. Once I put Kenny in here, make this nice and smooth. This guy is going to use that beautiful, beautiful head of his to dig under the sand. Now, if I gave him enough time, eventually, you're not going to see him. You're only going to see his little tongue sticking out, slithering and smelling for food. So let's see if I can put him in there now. So beautiful. He's like, I know this place. This is good. And he's going to start digging down in that sand underneath the rocks, underneath this beautiful wood. Oh, there he goes. His head is completely gone. His head is gone. He's down under there. So we can not only demonstrate firsthand, we also have the opportunity to lay out artifacts on these beautiful benches. People think snakes are so wiggly, they can't have bones in there. Ha-ha! Snake skeleton. These are the bones inside a snake to show how they can be so flexible and move so fluidly. And of course, a guy this size we're not going to bring out to show you, but we have the pelts of a reticulated python, the longest kind of snake in the world, usually 32 to 34 feet long. Somebody you don't want to encounter every day, but kids again can come up, touch, and get an appreciation for all of these artifacts. So what a wonderful place for us to do that. And I think Mr. Charismatic here, I think he's ready to go next. But when we're finished, feel free to come up, and I'll let you see Kenny, and you can kind of see how he's digging.
All right, a little bit more about Mr. Milo here. Step up, please. Good bird. This is Milo. He's our Moluccan cockatoo. This particular species of cockatoo is native to the islands around Indonesia, the Moluccan Islands, and they are just absolutely gorgeous birds. One of the primary usages of birds in our collection is we try to teach people about what kinds of pets are good in the average household. So parrots are an animal, cockatoos especially, that are an animal that they're so beautiful. There are a lot of people out there interested in getting one as a pet, but we want people to go into any pet situation with as much information as possible so they can make decisions that will be good for their family and of course for the animal as well. And Milo here does a great job of demonstrating some of the great challenges sounds are very, very loud. So if you would like to wake up to a sound like that every day for the rest of your life, then maybe a cockatoo is right for you. Maybe a good alarm clock. Maybe a good alarm clock. Now, Moluccan cockatoos are an animal that is considered to be a vulnerable species in the wild. They're native to tropical rainforests. So, of course, as many of you have probably heard, tropical rainforests are in decline around the world. So that's another thing that we can educate the public about. What we can do to help maintain tropical rainforests, one easy way to help maintain tropical rainforests is to support companies that are buying palm oil sustainably. Palm oil is one of the leading crops that the rainforest is being cut down to create. So there's palm oil in all kinds of things that we buy. So if we buy products that are made with sustainable palm oil, that's going to help the rainforest, and that's going to help animals like Milo that come from rainforested areas. Now, Milo is hogging the spotlight, and we want to make sure that Izzy gets a chance to shine as well. So I'll let one of our educators, Samantha, tell you a little bit about our lizard.
I am going to come out front so you guys can see this lizard. Thank you, Milo. I don't know how I'm going to follow Milo. So, like Amber said, this is one of our monitor lizards. This is a savanna monitor. We have a fantastic collection of lizards and reptiles, so a lot of different snakes in our education building, and this stage will be a perfect spot to display some of those and bring them out to visit people. So this monitor lizard is the largest lizard we have here in the zoo, and they come from Africa. So they live in the savanna. Now, his biggest, most interesting feature is that tongue. He has a very long tongue he's sticking out. He is smelling the air with that tongue. Now, he probably smells cookies and lots of good treats over there that he might be picking up as that wind's blowing around. So he's constantly flicking that tongue out to smell. Now, monitor lizards are a very interesting family of lizards as well. The largest of this family is the Komodo dragon, one that a lot of people are very familiar with, one of the most famous in that monitor family. So this little savanna monitor is related to that big 8-foot Komodo dragon. So they're all related. This is a really large, amazing lizard. So it'll be very awesome to get a chance to come out here and show people this lizard up close and some of the other lizards in our collection. Yeah, so like they said, if you guys would like to have an opportunity to come up and see some of these animals up close, it looks like Kenny's making his way into the sand in there. He's halfway gone. Yeah, he's halfway gone. And I'll have Izzy up on. I know. Are you ready to see a lizard? Yeah. We're glad you came for summer camp. All right. Would you like to touch?
She said she was here for summer.
Yeah. Do you want to feel right on his tail? He might swing it around a little bit for you. Do you see his long tongue? How long is your tongue? Is it as long as the lizard? What does that feel like? It feels kind of rough, doesn't it? He's pretty cool, huh? Did you want to see the snake in the tank over there? Yeah. You can go visit him over there too. Come right over. So if anyone else wants to join them and come on up and see these guys up close. This is